So you talked about lots of environment, and I know you are doing lots of work trying to protect the environment. Do you have any recommendations or tips for my audience to help the environment?
Well, so that's something that we're actually talking about because we eat so many vegetables and fruits. Our waste is really compostable. That's essentially the majority of our waste. We're like, what can we do that we're not just throwing it into the landfill? People who can take their waste and create compost or, find other methods of disposing of it or getting rid of it. And I mention this because this is something we're talking about for ourselves. And we studied textiles. It was a conversation back in school about fast fashion. How do you find that happy medium where you have the things that you like and appreciate, but you're not overbuying? I think really we need as a society to push for quality over quantity. And I feel like in the past, that's what things were about. There wasn't so much buy. But things were also made to last. Things were pricier, but you bought a quality item that was going to last you, not a cheap thing that you need to buy later. I'm fortunate that I work from home. I know not everybody has that opportunity. I'm not driving. That's one thing. We have one car as a family. I mean, in my ideal world, we would live in a place where you can rely on public transportation. I think as cities think about planning or how they're restructuring things, hopefully part of those plans is to make public transit more accessible. We do what we can do on a personal level, and then we have to be the push for businesses, for corporations. Consumers need to demand. And I don't know if you go, I'll go into stores and they write 90% post-consumer recycled materials. So I think as consumers create a greater demand, corporations are going to have to meet the consumer.
I know you have this conscious try to do everything you can to protect the environment. What shapes your thoughts? Did you get the education from school to protect the environment? When did you realize that protecting the environment is pretty important?
That's interesting that you asked that because I went to an elementary school that was very much into making us as students be more aware and be conscious of wildlife. We would do fundraisers for wildlife.
You are also a blogger. Do you write lots of these kind of topics, like environment friendly? What kind of topics you normally write?
I'm just getting into, for myself, skincare because I had acne for many years. It's something that I love, that I'm curious about, but I also want it to be more environmentally friendly, like products that are simple or things you can use at home that, like everyday items that we have at home. So that's more my approach, to talk about products that I use that are simple, that don't have a lot of ingredients, because your skin is your biggest organ. Isn't that true?
I don't know if that's organ. I don't know. Maybe it is.
We have all these toxins in the air, when we live outside of our house. And so people have their things that they enjoy. And I guess because, I had my own issues with skin in the past, it's something of interest. If I was going to be a doctor, I would have been a dermatologist. That's something that I've recently gotten into writing about, just because it's something that I enjoy and that I've tried so many different things. And the simplest, especially you can relate when you were pregnant, there's so many things you shouldn't use. You want to keep things the cleanest because whatever you were ingesting or putting on topically, the baby could have been ingesting or that was in your bloodstream. So.
Oh, interesting. I was thinking to interview a pregnant woman, what kind of food people normally to eat, what kind of a product they try to avoid using. Do you have that kind of list?
I don't have a list. I know there's something you shouldn't be eating. I know there's a period, maybe it's the first trimester, that you're not supposed to dye your hair. There's different things that you have to be conscious of when you're pregnant, what not to eat, what not. Even somebody had mentioned gardening, you weren't supposed to get into soil or change kitty litter. I don't have a cat, but they were you're not supposed to But these are things that I wasn't aware of. I mean,
oh, so it's kind of true in American, like a pregnant woman does need to be careful about certain foods, certain things they shouldn't exposure to, or certain kind of other habits, right? Oh, I thought American people is like a strong and never care about anything, like just live their own life, like a normal life. I thought.
Well, I mean, maybe, but these are things that like I learned along the way where people they're like, and you shouldn't eat this, and you shouldn't do that. And I was like, well, this is all new to me. But I think, there's certainly things you are supposed to avoid if you can.
Interesting. Because when we pregnant, we need to eat lots of like a delicious food, but with lots of nutrition, Also need to have a good rest in the first trimester. The second one is the best. I mean, you don't feel a thing. Then the third trimester, certain things you cannot do. Later on, after the baby delivered, you have to like lay down in the bed for a month, 2 weeks minimum. You shouldn't go out of the house. We have lots of rules. Yes, very traditional rules. That's amazing, right?
That is amazing.
Like women can have a very, very good rest after giving the birth.
You'll see people who had a baby and then a couple of days later, they're out to a restaurant with their newborn.
Did you do that?
Well, no, because it was a pandemic.
You cannot go anywhere.
I don't know what, having a baby in a normal world is like. I had to get a COVID test before going to deliver. I had to get it a couple of days, and then Humi couldn't come in until I had a room because they wouldn't let anybody in the lobby other than the pregnant person. So I don't know what a normal pregnancy, and then you can only have one person with you, whereas I guess traditionally you can have as many family members.
Right.
I don't know what a regular experience.
I have a regular experience because I had my baby before the pandemic. So it's like a big room there. Only you are the VIP in that room. Seriously, yes. Then you can have any people as you want. And you even can shoot the video of the whole process you giving the birth. Yeah, I know. Then later on when you do the delivery, right after the baby comes out, then tons of people were flushing in. I mean, lots of nurses, people to test the blood, to weigh the baby, to measure the baby, and take the picture of the baby.
During the pandemic, though, people were delivering naturally and their baby would be with them. But as far as I know, they could only have the one family member.
Yes, okay. Pandemic time is really hard. My case is next room to me. The whole family was there.
I think if I had like a bunch of family, it would have made me anxious. The one thing I can say though about a pandemic pregnancy and delivery is quiet, because it had to be, right, for the safety of everybody. So in some ways that was a good thing.
Yeah, it is good because next room to me, when the baby came out, they were cheering like, yeah! I was like, oh, good for you. You already done. I'm still here suffering.
That sounds like too much pressure, but I guess a lot of support too, just to have that many people.
I know. Yeah, but don't you feel weird? Like you delivering the baby, other people are watching you to do it. Yeah. So weird. I don't want that. I don't want that at all.
No.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Craziness.
Do you want to talk about your business, the energy bar?
What I'll say is we have put on pause life in the pandemic, but what it is it's a savory alternative. You know how many protein bars are typically sweet? We created a savory alternative, high protein, delicious, not sweet. So we'll see what happens in the future. It was challenging to find somebody who could manufacture a product on a smaller scale. And it's such a competitive space. But we'll see what happens. So yeah.
Keep your secret recipe. And then
that's the only thing you have, trade secret, right?
Right, trade secret. Then later on when reopen and everything is blooming, and take it out and remake your energy bar. Yeah, always good to have side business. Sometimes it's landed somewhere. It could surprise you.
And always to like whatever you learn through any of the processes or, businesses or ideas you go through will help you in the long run. It's something.
Oh, yeah. Some business need to raise the capital. It's super duper hard, very hard. Then you also learn how to do the marketing. Like you said, that you learn a lot during the whole process. That's good. So you have the experience
resources you can tap into. Yeah.
And you already have this experience, and later on when you start the business, it's very helpful to take you very quickly to where you want to be. Yeah,
it's a good point. Yeah.
Thank you, Irene, to be with me today. I really appreciate it. I think my audience would enjoy our conversation a lot. Thank you both for being with me.
Thank you for your time, and hopefully we didn't go off on too many tangents.
I think I love random conversation because have you feel relaxed? It's a friend's conversation, that's why.
Yes.
Friends conversation always kind of randomly here and there, this and that, right?
but still like comes together, ties together in some way.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. All right. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, friends. And if you like it, subscribe and give me a thumbs up. Give me some comments, please, too. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye.